I think of your audience as like a Barstool audience where it's super engaged.
Yeah.
And if you guys do something out of the norm.
Yeah. If you had to pick a shoe for Dak to wear, what would it be? How the hell do you balance all this, bro?
Like if you're drinking too much Red Bull,
Right.
it's not good. Like,
Right.
Like
you can't do too much of everything. How many shoes do you have?
Somewhere between 200 and 300.
Holy shit.
It's time for the 10:30 Brekky podcast. Prepared to be amazed. Your host, the King and Seth the Blonde.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the 10:30 Brekky podcast. I'm Seth.
I am Dak.
And today is a special episode. Honestly, this is a little interlude before the real podcast, so we'll probably just do this intro again. We're just dicking around a little bit while our guest shows up to the podcast.
Yes.
I'm not going to introduce him now, obviously, because he's not here. But we're looking forward to it. It's our first official guest. Obviously, we've had some cameos like our buddy Steve and other people, but this is our official first guest. And Dak is going to be probably after this podcast, you're probably going to realize that he is probably the best podcaster in the world. The most professional interviewer ever.
Oh, yeah.
But honestly, we don't want to overlook this big part. Today is Dak's birthday. Today is 420. Yes, 420 blaze it. Hitler's birthday. Yes, all that. It's Dak's birthday. That's what matters most. So it's a big day, honestly. We have a lot going on. And it's early morning. This is the earliest podcast we've ever done, really. I think I had to drag Dak out of bed, honestly.
You did not have to drag me out of bed.
Actually, I really didn't. You were doing good. You were doing really good.
So I was releasing gas before I woke up.
Yeah, you were pooping your pants, but I knew you were usually when in the morning when you hear those noises coming out of your body, you know he's got about 10 to 20 minutes and he's up and at him. And you were up and at him pretty quick. And I was up at 7:30. This is not good. I had a lot of wine last night. My head hurts a little bit, but honestly, I'm feeling good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm drinking coffee that may or may not have other things in it.
Does have other things.
Well, at least I'm not drinking a Bush at 10:30 in the morning.
I don't think mine's nearly as bad.
Whatever. But yeah, like we said, it's 420, so it's an exciting day. We have a lot of plans. We're going to go to a baseball game today. It happens to be very cold out, too, so it's just if you live in Minnesota, you know what we're talking about here. It fucking sucks, bro. Last weekend was 75 and sunny, and everybody was like, oh, this is why I live here. And then it's this weekend, and you're like, this is why I don't want to live here. So you get the full circle here.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. It's just a part of the spring in Minnesota. But anyway, I appreciate everybody tuning in, and I hope you enjoy this podcast episode because, honestly, it's going to be a training lesson for us, but we are taking this shit seriously, and one day Dak's going to be standing there as the number one podcast over Joe Rogan. So
I don't know about that, but
come on, bro. Come on, dude. Joe's getting Tucker Carlson and shit. We're getting, I don't want to say his name. I'll say it. I bleeped that out because I want it to be a teaser, obviously. Yeah, but no, we got homies. We got homies coming on. So this guy that's going to be on, he is a good of our friend of ours from college, so we at least know him somewhat. So he's a good little starting podcast guest for us, I think too. Dak, do you have anything to say on your birthday? Your phone's blowing up right now.
Not at this moment. It was, but it's not anymore.
You're getting a lot of texts though.
I was.
Yeah, I noticed that you're getting quite a few texts earlier. So I think Dak, and they're from fans too, right? It's from all the people watching right now. That's kind of dope.
Oh yeah.
I wish that's just where we're different. The fans don't love me as much, but honestly, it's okay because I love Dak and I love to make content. And Dak just happens to be the most entertaining person without being entertaining at all. Yeah, that's a gift that you have, man. So thanks for being my homeboy for so damn long. Mm-hmm. Happy fucking 24th birthday. Cheers. And cheers to having the best podcast in the world, the most important podcast in the world. We're going to continue to grind this out. We apologize for missing last week. Just a lot going on, man. Mm-hmm. So we can't hit every week, but we're going to try our best. We also have real full-time jobs, unfortunately. So we have to do those as well. So anyway, we're going to sit here, and I think the podcast guest should be here in the next 10 minutes or so. I am not going to lie. I am a little nervous for this one, Dak. I don't know. Are you?
No.
No?
No.
Dude, that's the thing. I'm like so anxious and like jittery and shit, and then you're just sitting there like,
Oh.
yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
I don't really care.
It's all right.
And we should have also Jamie, if you know. Jamie means a Joe Rogan person. No, my girlfriend, Gabrielle, should be working the TV today as well. So if we do have any topics, because we're going to be talking a lot about things that we don't necessarily have a lot of knowledge with. So, you know, we have somebody pulling it up on the TV so we can kind of just look and react. So if you are watching the video version, there should be a video somewhere in the corner of the episode where you can kind of tag along with us and share the experience with us. But yeah, next clip, podcast guest is going to be here. So see y'all then. Welcome back to the 1030 Brekky podcast. I'm Seth.
I am Dak.
And we have a special guest for you guys today. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are honored to have our first guest, our official first guest to this podcast, a man who knows how to work the camera lens better than my grandma knows how to work a bingo card, for real. One of the up-and-coming content creators in the sneaker industry. But to be honest, it's more than just sneakers to me. This dude knows how to make it look like anything literally look dope. Like everything I see he posts on his content is just fire. It looks cool, clean. I don't know how he does it. From working with companies like Nike, Canada Goose, Champ Sports to Minnesota Twins, this man literally is a master of everything. And he's also worked with Dak and Seth, so that's how we know the man. But he's the king. He's the king of sneaker content and has a following of over 800,000 followers on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. And I'm proud to call him a friend of mine. Off camera, he's a dedicated husband and a father to an adorable puppy named Kirk O'Chains, or at least I call him Kirk O'Chains too. Ladies and gentlemen, you might know him as WinonaKicks, but I'm proud to announce that we have Charlie McClay here chilling with us today, giving us our time. So welcome to the podcast, Charlie, bro. How you doing, man?
I appreciate the glazing. I really do.
Yeah, dude. I right before off camera, right before this, I was like, dude, I'm gonna glaze you up a little bit. I'm gonna hype you up a little bit, but for real. No, honestly, everything I said was for real. Like you.
I know it is. I appreciate it.
I've watched a lot of your stuff, like in the you've been up and coming for, I would say, the past 4 or 5 years I've been watching your content. I would say almost going on 5 right now, right? Like you've been doing it for about...
I think it'll be 5 in the fall.
Yeah, so you've been
nuts.
You've been hustling it for, since I've known you, to be honest. Like when I went, to give a little context, we went to the same college, Winona State University, Dak.
Yes.
So we all kind of know of each other from there, and especially in a smaller college like Winona, there's not a lot of people, content creators, quote unquote.
Well, that's funny because that's not even how we met. We just met through mutual friends.
Correct.
And then it was like, oh, you guys are doing this, I'm doing this.
Yeah,
It's kind of, you were like some of the first people I met freshman year.
Yeah, and
pretty funny.
Yeah, your type of content is so much different than ours. Obviously, like ours is not even. It's not like it's not something you want to show your mother, I would say. Whereas yours is like actually just like aesthetically, visually, everything about it looks good, and you go in depth on, I would say, everything sneakers. But to be honest with you, from what I've been seeing, dude, I've seen you review like a chair, like you were sitting on, bro. You like know how to make anything.
Well, if a brand wants to work with me, I'll
and that's kind of what I wanted to get into right off the bat, because like. I want to get your backstory of like how you started, because I know you said you're going on 5 years, and I think a lot of the time people don't really understand that it's more of like you've kind of grown up doing it, or you've had a passion or something that, made you get over that edge of like wanting to create content. So like, what was it? Where did it start? And how did you kind of get to be WinonaKicks today? Yeah.
So I think like everyone that's in the content game now, we all had YouTube channels when we were 10 years old, and I was doing Mad Mobile videos and loved that. And I did a golf page like high school, just stinging around with social media because I liked it. And freshman year of college, busted out, broke, started reselling shoes.
Yeah.
And it just kind of happened naturally where I made Charlie's Sneakers Instagram page, and I just started posting the pairs I was buying for friends and family.
Yeah.
And it was literally my sister, my girlfriend at the time, roommates would look at the shoes, maybe buy them, get like 1-2 likes. And then I got a random person commented on it like, okay, how do you ship out a pair of shoes? So I made a video on it. And then I made another video and just kind of replying to comments. And then I was talking about new drops and stuff and trying different series. And then moved out of the dorms into a house and started cleaning and did a cleaning series and just kind of progressed it, changed to WinonaKicks, and then it just kind of took off because TikTok was young at the time, and that was the big growing point. And everything I posted on TikTok, I also posted on Instagram Reels right when Reels came out, and Reels was really good as well. So it just kind of went there, and then YouTube and Facebook's been solid as well, and it just kind of progressed into that. And then I got a job doing social media for a power sports company in northern Minnesota, which I still do. And I basically was like, I got to stop reselling and I got to do content full time because now I'm going to be doing it for work. I got to be doing it for myself, and I have an income from work. So I did that over the summer and stopped reselling. My last month of reselling, I sold like 100 pairs in that month. So it was it was like, all right, this is like a substantial income. Like if I'm going to stop, I got to go all in the content.
Right.
So that's what I did. And then never really looked back, which was good. So I switched from reselling content over about 6 months to just sneakers in general. And now it's even over the next 6 months to a year, it's kind of all lifestyle content is the plan. So
yeah, that's what I've been seeing. I feel like at first, when I first saw you, firing off videos, like being super, first of all, you're very consistent with it, which is something that
it's the only thing whenever anybody's like, how do I start? I'm like,
I can ask you, I will ask you that question, but the thing is, like, that is literally the answer. And you see that with anybody in this space. It's like, how'd you start? How do you do it? How'd you get that many followers? It's consistency. And Dak and I are the opposite of that. We were consistent, and like it was the key to success, like being able to. And you mentioned too, like TikTok, you got on TikTok early. Instagram Reels first when it came out. Those things are what excelled like a lot of us, I think.
Well, because you guys too. I mean, that was like, you guys were one of the first like comedy pages on TikTok.
Yeah.
You guys blew up right away.
Yeah, and now it's like pretty stagnant, but it's like it was new, it was fresh, and it's just being a part of like the first wave of like creators was really cool, and that's how you make your name. And I think we were all lucky to like get on that wave, and you're one of those people that found it right away and like dove into it and saw the opportunity, the potential to grow and like actually create your own brand. And I think what's a lot of things that separate us from you is you have a brand, like you've established a brand, you have like consistency in all of your videos, branding, like WinonaKicks is like your thing, and you know how to like engrave that in people's brains, I think. And especially with a community that's that tight, especially because I think one of the challenges that I see is that you have like a tight community, like a niche that is like sneaker content related, and you're trying to grow out into more of like a lifestyle type.
With content, you guys know this too, you got to adapt. You guys are doing a podcast now. That's part of it. There's people that have been doing sneaker content for 10 years on YouTube.
Right.
There is a fall off with everyone. It just happens, and that's just what it is. And so in my mind, I'm like, I love sneakers. I have a ton of sneakers. Like, I love reviewing them. I'm even getting not tired of it, but it's like when it gets so repetitive, where it was at the beginning, it was buying and selling a lot of pairs. I haven't seen like the game, like myself, I'm adapting. So I'm adapting my content just with my own interests. Right. And I think that's pretty natural with a lot of people. And the other option is just keep doing sneakers and then just quit one day. And that's not really what I want to do either.
Yeah. So. That's what I've noticed. It's like, I was going to ask you, is that what you wanted to kind of grow out of that, and you want to be more of like lifestyle?
I'll always be 90% sneakers.
Right.
It's just putting in car review or golf content or camera stuff or stuff that I'm genuinely interested in.
Right.
And cycling it in there a little bit.
Yeah. And who are some of the people that coming up too that you were like, inspired by too? Because I don't know anything about I don't know enough about the sneaker industry, or honestly a lot of like product review. I feel like that's kind of your vibe is like the brand, the product review, whatever brand wants to work with you, you'll be willing to make a high quality video about.
That was a big part of my content, was being very pro brands. When a brand looks at my stuff, they won't get in trouble for working with me. They're going to be, when they spend thousands of dollars on an ad budget, they're like, hey, we're actually going to get something out of it. Whether we get digital assets on top of the actual promotion or whatever the case. And so, I've watched Lewis from Unbox Therapy for 10 years. I've watched MKBHD for 10 years. Sneaker-wise, Harrison Neville, who's a good friend now. He's got a couple million on YouTube. John Carlo Blazendary, who I'm really good friends with now. And I do content for him. Yeah, I mean, it was just YouTube, and then TikTok kind of popped off. And it's funny, the consistency thing is there was so many people that when I started doing content, they're not doing content anymore because they stopped posting.
I mean, that was us.
There's so many of those.
Yeah. It's tough, dude. Also, it's just like a burnout thing. Like it's tough, and you're adapting to it, which a lot of people, that's where they drop off. And we keep kind of talking in circles about it, but it's very true. And I think a lot of people
all the same.
People that want to start up or do content or they think it's a lot. I feel like people think it's a lot easier than it is. It's like, oh, just make a viral video. And like when it was fresh, TikTok was fresh, Instagram was fresh, shorts, all that. You can do that. Like you can get a following, but it's not going to be a community. And I think that's what's key about yours is you have people that are like, you'll post a video, it might get whatever. Let's just say your average views on just Instagram is like a 20,000, 30,000 views, just a lower video for you. But you'll get a ton of comments because you have a community. You have people that like fuck with your content that constantly like want to see your stuff every single week. Whereas there's people that, don't have that community. And I think it's just more about they're a little bit more toxic with it. Like for our content, we make a big switch. And I think when you make a big switch, people become kind of like, where the hell are the videos? Like I missed these. I'm like, bro,
you guys have a very like,
it's tough.
I think of content like audiences, mine are very like pretty like monotone, nothing crazy. I think of your audience as like a Barstool audience where it's super engaged. Yeah. And if you guys do something out of the norm,
it's
like that.
And I don't like it. Just sucks because like it doesn't suck. Like I'm so used to it, but it is toxic. It's like very. Like they judge things. They don't like this. They don't like
through it.
Right. And I'm not like I've never had it impact me. And I think it's just us doing podcasting is a little bit different. But it is interesting how you were able to like build this community and keep it going. And even when you adapt, I don't know if do you ever see anybody like knocking your comments or having like toxicity? Rare. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
They do, I'll shoot them a message and then they flip and they're like, "Oh, I love watching your videos."
Right. Okay. So you do like if you do get a comment, you would actually straight up DM them.
Occasionally, it depends on like if it's a video and they're like I posted a Nike sale the other day and the code wasn't working for the first half an hour and this guy was like, "You're bullshitting. Like this is all fake." And I just messaged him. I was like, "Go try the code now. Like it works." So I mean, like stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's not like. I don't look at the comments too super often. I mean, I just never really have. But I mean, I'm sure there's people that hate.
Yeah, I think it's just important though. Like consistency is key, and being able to sustain a community. And like I think you show yourself in the most genuine way, whereas we were kind of just doing it for entertainment, and we never actually genuinely showed our like personal side, which is
what interesting too, because there's two personalities.
Yeah, and also like that's the other hard part is I can't be in just a video myself. Dak probably could. Let's be real.
Has been
many times.
Then it's like when we graduated and stuff, and it's like, all right, like actual life stuff's coming up.
Yeah, that's tough.
Hard to stay together, and
it's super hard. I mean, I moved to Florida for a while, and then you try to come back and do it. It's tough to do, and literally part of the reason I came back is I'm like, bro, we're sitting on all these followers. People actually fuck with our content. I can't do it. This is my passion, and I just love. That's why I think you being our first guest is like a great guest to have because you have the same passion. You still like you understand what it takes to be successful in this space, and honestly, I can see you like doing this for the rest of your life. And I'm assuming your goal one day is to be able to just full-blown like content creator, or what is your vision in the future?
I don't know. I mean, I think about it. I mean, like, because my wife, she's got a really good job in financial services, and I'm like you're set. Like you can climb the corporate ladder, you can be an advisor. Like I'm like I don't know what I'm going to be doing in 10 years.
Right.
I mean I could go I don't think I'll be reviewing kicks when I'm 40 years old or 50. Like,
be pretty
with 2
sick,
kids.
though, dude.
I mean, maybe. We just don't know the social media space.
Right.
Like, I mean, there's people that have been doing it for 10 years that I don't think they thought they were doing it for 10 years. And I think part of it's like, I think past social media and everything with it, I think it'd be really fun to be a photographer, videographer for a sports team or something else, but it's similar where you can take everything that I've learned and put it into a different kind of trade. So I don't know. I have no idea. I'm just going to kind of keep running with it.
Yeah, you
like
got a resume, bro. Like on
Well,
your,
thank
you
you.
scroll down, you scroll on your, you can probably get any type of job that, especially with like a camera. And I think, you've worked with brands like Twins, actual Twins, Minnesota Twins, which is really cool. A baseball team here in Minnesota, if you didn't know. But like, how did that start up? Like all those, how do you even reach out to these brands? Are they reaching out to you? Like I saw you just had a collab with Nike in the Masters.
Yep.
That was really cool.
So it wasn't my collab. It was a good friends of
Right.
mine that they dropped a shoe with
Yep.
Jordan Brand.
Okay.
But yeah, no, a lot of them, I mean, in that case, I've known them since they started content, kind of like similar here. And he told me about it 2 years ago. He's like, hey, we have something crazy in the works. Like, it's going to be a long time, but we'll keep you posted, basically. And we're good friends. And they got in contact with somebody at Jordan Brand. He does wood pieces, Happy Life Wood. And they did a shoe together, and I got to help promote it. So stuff like that is just old connection. But, I mean, like the Twins, it started with Joe Ryan, the pitcher, DM me wanting to get a hat.
Okay.
Because I sell hats. There's a whole bunch of different colorways
Yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
And he wanted to get a hat. So I sent him a couple of the first drop. And then like a month later, he was wearing it in a Twins Instagram post when they were getting on the
Damn,
plane.
dude, that's
And I was like freaking out.
bro.
Ben Crone from Winona too. He was like, "This is insane!" Like the whole deal. Like it was really, really cool. I was sending it to my grandma, like the whole thing. And,
That's insane, dude. Holy
and
shit.
then since then, right at the end of the playoffs last year, I got one of the marketing people at the Twins DM me and was like, "Hey, like, love to have you at a game, like blah blah blah." And I was like it was the last game of the season. And it just didn't work out really well. So he's like, "We'll get in you for a clubhouse tour in the off season." And so that's what we did there. So I know marketing guy. And then in the last month or so, there's been, I don't need to name drop or anything, but like Bailey Ober, another pitcher, the catcher, Ryan Jeffers. Like I've just started talking to these guys on Instagram and sent them all the hats. And I think that they're all like, "Ooh, send this guy a DM." Like, get some hats
He's
and
like, get a
stuff.
hat.
And so I have some content ideas in the works with them
Okay.
where it's like, I'll get you hats, but like,
I need
let's do, like, a
something in
shoe
return.
video or something.
Yeah,
So not to kind of tease it, where basically there's a company on Instagram that makes custom cleats.
Okay.
And so starting with Joe, we're figuring out a pair of shoes that we're going to get metal cleats put onto the bottom of them, like SB Dunks or Jordan 1s. He's going to wear them in a game. I'm going to do a video delivering it to him and stuff. And so he's all on board. We're kind of figuring out the logistics of it now. But I think in the social game, the connections are huge. Whether they reach out to you, you reach out to them. And then it's how do you get win-wins for both sides? Because if you're just asking for everything, they're going to get tired of it. And
Yeah. But I mean, your hat, like also you put a lot of work into like the design of the hat. And like, I don't even know what I know you were, who'd you work with to create the hats?
So
you have a buddy, right?
Still do. Daniel Liu.
Yeah.
He's blown up now. I mean, he does like 2 drops a week of hats, sells them out, 400 hats. I mean, he's got a whole community of himself. But yeah, it was just worked with him, designed the first one, and then they sold out. So we did another drop, sold out, drop, sold out. And now we have
that's crazy.
a ton more suedes, and then we have some custom embroidered ones coming for this holiday season. So
Hell yeah, dude. So you just do like limited releases. That's what I've been seeing.
Yep.
And do you think that's even better than just having it like sitting on a bunch of inventory? Like
I've thought about just having something on the website for people to buy, because I'll get DMs like, "Hey, where can I get these hats?" And like we're 2 or 3 months in between a drop.
yeah.
It's part of me that kind of sucks. Part of me, it's cool that we can sell out 200 of them in 6 minutes on drop day. Like, I mean, that it's pretty cool to do that. And then the people that don't get them, they'll want to get the next drop. And I always have some extra if there's players or somebody that hooked me up with some shoes or something like that. I can send them to them and whatever. But yeah, I mean, he he handles manufacturing. He handles everything with the factories, shipping them out. They're on his website for sale. I just design them. They show up. We do promo, and off we go. So it's a big shout out to him because he handles just about everything there.
Dude, that's cool. And I think that also attracts more eyes. And the thing that I always, when I watch your content, and like I said, every day I see something from you pretty much, is that like what's your like schedule like, and how do you stay like creative with it? That's the hard part, because like everyday uploads or like being very consistent, what you need to be, is very hard to do because the creative burnout is like very real. And especially with I think maybe because you get the opportunity to review literally anything. Like if brands are always reaching out to you, I know that that's an opportunity right there. Like that's a video idea. But how do you, let's say it's a stale week, you've got no brands are reaching out to you. You have nothing but the shoes that you have. Like what do you do to become creative? Like how do you keep the ideas flowing?
So, I mean, at the beginning it was reselling content. So just buying stuff, selling stuff. And then, I mean, over the past 6 months, a big goal of mine is to get in on seeding lists, is what they're called. So when new drops happen, they just show up at your door. Okay. And you don't have to do anything. Oh, they don't require content or anything, because all these brands have big budgets to spend maybe once or twice a year, depending on what quarter we're in and what sales targets they're trying to hit. So, but there's new drops daily. And so, like Kyrie Irving's new shoe, the Antic High 1, they did a big drop for it. They want to get a bunch of buzz with it, so they send out seeding pairs, is what they're called, and they just send them to all the creators. They're like, do whatever you want with them. Like, you can make a video, you can just keep them, you can wear them, put them on your story, whatever. And so it's free content every time they'll show up. So it's just, my goal has been getting on as many of those seeding lists as I can. But I really got introduced to a really good connect at Champ Sports that now every new drop that comes out, I just shows up the door, every single one. So
that's just like,
so that connect has been a lifesaver, because previously it was buying everything, keeping it, selling it, whatever the case. And now it's just those. So there isn't really stagnant weeks. I still plan where instead of just doing, because I could just do reviews all the time.
Right.
It gets boring.
Yeah.
Adapt.
Yeah.
So like the thing with Joe Ryan, like do something like that. I'm starting a golf shoe series, trying to find the world's most comfortable golf shoes. So I'm working with the company there. I got like the hats will come in and kind of mix things up, or room design or whatever, or car review, or there's just a whole bunch of different kinds of content that you can kind of mix in there. And I mean, a wear test is another one that I have in the works that's just kind of a good content kicker. So, and then we have the podcast too. So it's there's always content now where it's more of like trying to catch up.
Right. Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Get it all done rather than running out of ideas. Yeah. And that's kind of where I'm struggling now, is it's like there's so much that I get overwhelmed at sometimes, and maybe I don't post for 2-3 days, but it's been fortunate where I don't have that problem anymore, which is sweet.
Yeah. I love the series where you did like trying to find the world's most comfortable slide, or like that one. I was like, zoned it, because I'm not a huge shoe guy, just because like I just have terrible fashion. Like I'm wearing a Timberwolves scarf right now. I don't know. I love T-Wolves.
That is style. Go T-Wolves.
Yeah. But I loved that series so much, and that's the thing about making series. You have to make multiple videos, and
if
people
work right. Then it's great
you
content.
Get people tuning in, like pumped to see that, and that was like one of my favorite series, just because it connected with me, somebody that's not actually like that into like sneakers and just fashion in general, and like having style, which seeing that was like really cool to see. And I was like, damn, like I want to know what he's gonna rate. And I remember talking to my girlfriend, I was like, I want to, like, I was like, some of the ones you would review, I was like, I want to buy this one, like this, because I love slides so much, because there's just anything that I can just throw on real quick, walk around. Yeah, I love it, like the socks and sandal vibe. It's what I do. So I don't know. And Dak, you probably would love that too. I feel like you would rock some socks and sandals.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And with Dak, I wanted to ask you this so bad. Dak has, this is his fit. It's the fucking sweatpants, some type of tee or whatever the hell you got going on. Usually it's a hoodie, and then in the summer it's basketball shorts. This dude wears basketball shorts to church. He's
The
not
religion
denying it.
itself
That's the
right
thing.
there.
But for real, like, what if you had to pick a shoe for Dak to wear? What would it be?
Right off the bat, some New Balances.
New Balance? Yeah,
Perfect.
they're clean, dude.
They're clean. They're like super comfortable and casual, but like if you get a cool colorway or a model, then people that are into shoes, like,
Yeah.
you know, kind of a deal. And that's kind of how it is with New Balance or even Asics.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like what I wear the most of now.
Yeah.
New Balance, Asics.
Okay.
I mean, the dad shoes are really in. They're not even called dad shoes anymore because they're just kind of popular, and retro Jordans aren't as popular as they were during COVID and stuff, but definitely some New Balance like 2002 Rs or some
Gotta look this up. I want
1906s.
2002 Rs. Let's see. I want to see what, because Dak needs a little. I thought I had bad style, but Dak, no offense, dude. It's your birthday, dog. I'll buy you a pair of shoes or something. That literally looks like, that's sick though.
That's the protection pack. That was like my favorite. There's an all gray one that I've worn a ton. This is the purple colorway that they came out with.
Dude, I love
They're sweet. They're really cool, and they're like, you have a pair of those on. I'm like, that's cool.
Dude, I love it's like worn out, like that style where it looks like it's kind of ripped almost.
Yeah,
that's kind of cool.
The designer, I know, actually, it's a topographical.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So there's different layers and different colors. So that's a cool pair. And I mean, those would last you for a long time, and you could find like that all the way on the right, that picture. There you go. So that's the pair that I have. I've worn them to the ground. I've worn them hiking up Sugarloaf. I mean, they're really good, comfortable shoe, but they're cool. So
those are clean. I can see you rock that, especially because Dak is neutral colors, like the gray. Like, you're not too flashy with it. Yeah. I've always wanted to know what Dak could wear, and I you being the man on the sneaker
find him
pulse.
a pair now.
I know. Are they? So they're hard to. That's the thing.
They came out a couple years ago. There's different colorways of them.
Right.
The gray is probably the most popular. There's an all black color. There's an all white color too. So
it's crazy how new, the dad shoe, like New Balance in general. When I was a child, or when I was like, even 12, 15.
No, they were not cool.
No, that was like the worst
that.
shoe. And I used to work at Foot Locker for a while. I worked at Foot Locker for like 3 years.
Oh, really?
When I was in high school, it was my bum job.
Yep.
It was, dude, we got no business there. We just like, whatever. The only time we get business is when we had the releases, like the retros, whatever. People would just be like banging on the cage waiting to get them. But New Balances started popping up everywhere. It was like 2016, 2017 when I was working there, and there was a ton of them. They were popping up, and I was like, dude, these are nice. Like, I got a pair myself. I couldn't even tell you what I got, but
they're good. They use good materials.
Right.
The retail price is usually a little higher than like a retro Jordan, but the materials stand the test of time.
Yeah.
And then they even have made in the U.S. pairs and made in the U.K. pairs that are crazy expensive retails, but the materials are completely sourced in the U.S. or the U.K. and they're really, really nice leathers and suedes.
Go back, Gabs. Go back. No, go back. What the fuck is that? No, the cactus fucking plant. Is that real?
CPFMs.
No fucking way.
So that's a real shoe that dropped.
Ain't no way.
Only
The CPFM flea ones.
For the listeners, this is literally like a shoe that looks like there's
Grinch shoes.
grass. Grinch shoes.
Basic.
It looks like there's plants on the shoe.
You can cut them and there's swooshes underneath. And
Oh,
like that.
that's sick. Did you ever review those or anything?
No, I never got a pair of those.
Oh, that's insane. What the fuck is that? Bro, like, that's the thing about shoes. I think it's just like an art on its own because there's just so many different things you could do with it now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So those I got in. I had a couple of pairs of those. That was the second version of the CPFMs. And the swooshes were like removable. And
how many shoes do you have, bro? Like right now, it's probably a hard question. Honestly, I don't even know. I know I've seen photos of your like closet basically, and it looks like
so
you
that
have
was
a million.
Before we moved too.
Right, yeah, that's what I'm saying. How many do you have right now? If you could give a number.
Somewhere between 200 and 300.
Holy shit, dude!
Is the number. It could be over that. I don't think it's under that because when we moved, I had about 200 pairs and I sold about 50.
Right.
And since then, I'll get probably,
Bro,
3 to 10 pairs coming in every week.
Oh my God.
I mean, like this week, it's been 11 different pairs.
How many do you wear?
Whew.
Like out of that batch, because you got what? Let's say you have 280 shoes right now. How many of those would you like casually wear on day to day versus just like you're getting them at your door all the time?
I'll cycle stuff in the kind of rotation and stuff, but I mean, it's probably 4 to 5 of them, and then maybe I'll wear a cool colorway or something like that. But I mean, actually wearing, I have my Birks, I have my Jordan 185s that I wore, I have my New Balances, my ASIC House Studios, and then my ASIC Earl's collection, and then born and raised SBs. So like 5 or 6.
Okay, interesting, dude. That's crazy though that you have. And I want to know how does your wife feel about this? Because you make sneaker content, I'm sure there's a lot more of like room for like, oh well, I need to do it, but like, how does she generally feel about having 300 shoes in your house?
I mean, she's been there since the beginning.
Right.
I mean, we've been together for, I don't know, it'll be 6 years in October.
Okay.
So we've been married since August.
Yep.
So, I mean, she's seen it from the golf page to starting reselling shoes to buying 30 pairs for $30 on Facebook.
Yeah.
Like, and cleaning them up and selling them for $5 a pair. Like, since the beginning, like not cool shoes, but like old Converses, and like
she understands.
So she's seen everything. She's seen the trips. She's seen the companies, all of it. So, I mean, it pays the bills. So it's,
okay, yeah.
She doesn't not. She supports it, and I'll get her free shoes now and stuff like that. I mean, she just knows I like it a lot.
Yep.
I don't think she's not against it or anything like that.
That's good. I mean, you need.
No,
that
I mean,
support.
I have the basement, got the garage.
Right.
Upstairs is hers. Like,
yeah, you're like, I'll put my shit down here.
Yeah, she's
and
like,
at
I
least
don't want
it's
shoes
not
upstairs, and
it could be worse. Like, it's not ugly at all. Those shoes, like, it looks the way you have them, like, aesthetically it looks cool, and honestly, it looks like decoration almost in your crib.
We were watching TikTok last night. We kept getting a bunch of these fragrance reviewers.
Okay.
Like Jeremy Fragrance.
Yeah,
and
yep,
like the colognes and stuff.
Yep.
And I was like, you're lucky I'm not reviewing
that's what
stuff like this. Like,
that's such an interesting like community as well. Like, how the hell?
It's completely different.
It's interesting, dude. I always it just blows my mind how you can have that many and you continue to get more. I want to eventually like move off of some of the sneaker content because I feel like a lot of people don't really know. I mean, it depends, but I think
Let's
our audience
pivot.
is definitely
Let's do
like.
it.
But I wanted to ask one more thing. So we know what Dak wants for shoes, but what is your like number one shoe, everyday shoe that you would rock, and your favorite shoe that you've ever had? Like,
probably those New Balance protection packs.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Other than that, just to get away from those shoes, I want to know. It's like, this is something that is, it's cool, but it's also something you'd wear around, comfortable. It has everything you need in a shoe.
I mean, probably recently I've been wearing my A6 Earl's collection a lot. Those are super comfortable. They just came out really cool. Otherwise, Jordan 185s that I wore in, they're more of a durable leather that they picked that I like those. But probably those. Yeah, there they are.
So those are just like comfortable. Do you wear them to like the gym too, or
gym,
everything?
Walking the dog.
Damn.
Store. They're really cool looking. So
speaking of the dog, bro. So, it's a Cavapoo?
Yep.
Yeah. So that's like what is another name for that breed? Because I feel like I've heard several different names for that breed.
It's a Cavapoo King Charles mix.
Okay. Interesting. That I honestly, when you first posted, I was like, oh, it's like a golden retriever or something. I don't know what it was.
It has the long hair like a King Charles.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Dog's adorable. How old's the dog now? Like
9 months.
Wow. And how's that? Because I feel like it's like a little test run of a child, dude.
Yeah, so
has to be.
I mean, it is
straight up a test run of a child.
I mean, last year we kind of just checked off a bunch of life stuff.
Yeah.
Graduated college and we got married,
Yep.
and then 2 weeks before the wedding, we drove up to the border of Canada and got this dog.
That's crazy.
And we talked about it for a while. We are gonna do it after the wedding, and it just kind of worked out where the litter was ready and super cute. And they named it Samsung. And then there was an Apple was his sister. It was like the little kids were naming the dogs and stuff. And so it was kind of ugly in the pictures, and I was like, I don't know about this. And grown up, great dog. I mean, he was basically potty trained when we got him.
Yeah.
I mean, doesn't chew stuff, doesn't bark that much. So I mean, it's been pretty easy, honestly.
That's cool. And my question about the dog too. I know why you named it what you named it. What is the real name of the dog? Is it Kirk?
It's Kirk.
Okay, it's Kirk. But
Kirk.
Yeah, Kirk. Sorry.
Yep.
Kirko Chains is like the nickname or like the Instagram handle, right?
Yep.
I know why you have that. Why is it named? What?
Daddy Kirk. That's the
Kirk Cousins, yo.
Well, we watched the quarterback Netflix show.
Okay.
And we were like, "God, Kirk's just like such a good guy. Like,
He's such a good dude."
She's a big Vikings fan too. Like,
okay.
We do fantasy football. Like,
yeah. Oh hell yeah.
The whole deal. And I'm a huge Vikings fan. And
yep.
I mean, we like Kirk. He's a good Christian guy. Like he's
hell yeah.
a family man. Like he was just. I don't know anybody that doesn't like him.
He's one of those dudes that it's even if you're not cheering for, it's like, for example, I hate, like, I dislike the Packers a ton. Obviously, everything about the Packers. There was Aaron Jones. I really like him. He's just like a likable person, or like those type of people
like that kind of transcend teams.
Right. And Kirk's one of those guys. Like you look at him, you hear him talk when he's after a big win, he's on the private jet with Justin Jefferson's chains on, just jumping around, just like. There's nothing to dislike about Kirk Cousins, and I think I actually love that you named your dog Kirk, because that is like.
Oh, you're like, this is a perfect name. Like, it's literally the mentioned it first, but it just kind of happened.
Yeah, I love it, dude. I love that. And what's your vision with do you want to actually like blow up? Because one of the huge things, like I don't know if you follow Dave Portnoy at all, and he has Miss Peaches, the dog. Like that's an it's not untouched. I won't say that everyone's got.
There's a lot of people that do that angle.
But is that something you want to do with? Because so context. Charlie also has a Instagram page for his dog Kirk Chains Kirk. Yep. Do you want to like? I know it's a funny question, but like, do you actually want to like blow that? I mean, obviously that's the dream. No shit, you want to do that, but
no, it's
you trying to do that, like your vision.
No, I mean. I don't know. I've never given it thought, honestly.
Right.
I mean, it's maybe.
It's one of those dogs that you
figure out an angle of it that it would be interesting, because there is a lot of dog influencers, and trend jumping is never something I've done, and that's kind of the dog space. You do that unless you're Miss Peaches, which you just do anything way better than everything.
Yeah, Dave is the most lucky.
I'm not Dave Portnoy. That's the other thing. I don't know. I mean, maybe. We just kind of made the page, like the handle Kirko Chains was available. Yeah. Which is crazy.
Yep.
But I don't know, maybe. It's more like family and friends like wanted to see him. Like
right. And it's just a fun thing to do. Does Abby, your wife, help at all with that too? Or is she?
So she started it, she did the whole thing, and then she didn't post for like a month. So her aunt and grandma were like talking shit to her at her last, like, I think it was Easter. So I was like, all right, like I take pictures of him every day. Like I'm gonna start posting. So now I've just been dumping stuff on there. But
yeah, dude, it's fun. And it's also like one of those, what I'm saying is that I think that's one of those dogs that has like so much potential to like actually blow up on social media. There's a lot of elements to it. And like you said, it is trend following. Like you got to be on touch with like throwing your dog on this popular sound, things like that. It's all a part of it. But yeah, it's interesting to see. I think it's just cool because you have all these different things. You have a full-time job as well, like as a content creator. And then also you have your personal WinonaKicks, you have your dog, you have your wife. How the hell do you balance all this, bro? Because I want to be able to do more, but I am so overwhelmed with work half the time, like my actual full-time job, that I never like have the time to just find ideas, all that. And also I have to connect with that, which makes it a little bit harder, obviously. But how do you do it, bro? How do you balance that life and like have your wife like love you at the end of the day, bro? Like for real. I mean,
she goes to work she clocks in from 8 till 3:30.
Yeah.
So we have our nights. We had our date night last night. I went to Malone's in Maple Grove. Like,
cool.
We do fun stuff like that. But I don't know. I've set it up where it works, where the biggest bottleneck was the full-time salary job.
Right.
That, I mean, if it's 40 hours a week, that puts a kibosh on everything else, basically. So I took a lot less money to have less responsibilities.
Okay.
And so it was going to be head of all online marketing for all the locations. And I was like, I can't just step away from the shoe gig. And so I didn't. I took quite a bit less money and full freedom.
Yeah.
post whatever I want. All I do is socials, make my own hours, just get it done.
Oh, that's cool.
And they were super flexible with it. Thankfully, it worked out with them, and they even offered it and accepted my proposal, basically. And then that set it up where, all right, I can get 2 weeks of content done in 3 days. Because a lot of it's like I don't need to be on site. I can go in and record for a day, and then I have a month of content because all you have to do is edit the videos.
Yeah.
So it's worked out well with that. And then shoes, it just, I don't know, it's a good routine with that, just recording videos and kind of have it down. So
yeah, that's it's tough, man. Like that's awesome that they adapted with that because you know, people get consumed in their lives, and the hardest part I always realize with my life and in general is being so busy that I never have enough time to like you know, like live in the moment and actually enjoy the moment because you're so focused on the next thing, the future. You know, obviously it's important to have goals and things like that, but I think a lot of times people get so blurred with either missing the past or focusing on the future. You never get to like live in the moment you're currently in and like appreciate where you're at right now.
Yep.
And I find myself doing that a lot because I'm so busy, and you just kind of, it's like Monday through Friday, it's like whatever, and then the weekend you're like, finally the weekend, like I get to be like a little bit more like I can enjoy it, like be free. So that's something that I want to be like more like be able to be a little bit more aware of and like appreciate. And I think you do a great job at like doing it because I'm like, damn. And a lot of times that's why I'm glad I got to interview you because, you know, you see the social media side, but it's like, how is it actually, how has your life actually been, you know? So that's good to hear though. Like you're able to balance it and, you know.
Oh, you have to, otherwise it crumbles. I mean,
it's tough, bro.
Then the marriage crumbles and the dog. I mean, the whole thing. I mean, you gotta, if you have two. I think that my dad really instilled that where it's like if you're doing like if you're drinking too much Red Bull,
right,
it's not good. Like
right, you can't do too much of everything.
I can't have 3 Red Bulls a day, otherwise I'm gonna have heart problems. Like,
right,
that's just the case. If I drive the car too much and don't change oil, like it's gonna break down. Like if you like. You have to balance everything, and if you don't, it's not gonna work out.
Yeah, I love that, especially being aware and like knowing. I think that's the first part is like acknowledging it, and then the second step's obviously doing it and being able to have that balance in your life. And I think that's where, you know, looping this all back together is like that's where a lot of content creators and drop off is like. They go too heavy on one side. They lean too heavy on, you know, you focus your whole life on either, you know, making entertaining videos. You kind of neglect your friends, your family, or whatever.
That's fine. I mean, if you're in like a drive state where it's like I'm grinding for the next 5 years. Yeah. I mean, I could post 3 videos a day. Other things in my life would suffer, but I could.
It's sacrifice. Like it's a part of it, but you know, you just got to have your priorities straight. And I think, you know, as you grow too, like you do lose a lot of like people along the way, even if you don't notice it. Like I know in college I had so many more like a lot more connections, friends and things like that. And
everyone's down there. You live near each other.
And then you go out of college, you think you can keep those going, but you just can't. It's hard. It's tough. And it's not even like a bad blood thing. It's just like you just can't keep those people in your circle for that long. And yeah, that's something that is like very real with a lot of people. And I think now that we're on the topic of Winona, I wanted to ask you what your favorite moment of Winona State University was. I'm sure it's got to be. There's so many. Like it's the hardest question
I don't know
ever.
If I could narrow it down to just one.
Like, what is like what was one of your favorite things about going to Winona? Then, like, what was your favorite thing about it? Because I think it's so different than going to like the U of M. Everybody's always it's
totally
so different
atmosphere.
It's just this is like a small college, like a lot more like community knit. Honestly, you know a lot more people. You see the same faces every day.
It's a college town. It's a drinking town. I mean,
it's fun.
It was a fun college to go to.
Would you ever wanted to go somewhere else? Or would you do it again if you had
my
to?
grades in high school were dog. So
you just got to Winona.
I applied and I got in. I was under the minimum for GPA and ACT and I got in.
Dude, I got denied.
Did you really?
Bro.
Okay, what was your GPA? What was your ACT?
My GPA, I would say probably was like 2.8 maybe. 2.9. That's not bad. It's like,
I was
it's like B average, a little below B average. I mean, my senior year was so easy. I got like a 4.0, but the other years were so bad that
I get that.
Yeah, like senior year, I literally had like 3 classes, and it was
what
like
was your ACT then?
My ACT, fuck. The first time I took it, the free one that you get or whatever, the first one that everybody takes, I got an 18.
Okay.
And then my second try, I got a 19.
Okay.
Third try, I got a 21.
Okay, so I was 294 and 19.
Okay.
And you know what's funny is they don't require ACT requirements anymore.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So I
COVID
think what
did
happened
that, right?
was you're younger in school, and so they're like, tuition's
there.
been dropping for the last 10 years. Like, let's just start accepting anybody.
Right.
Now that's what they're doing regardless.
That's the funny part is when I applied. So I had some connections with Winona too, so I thought it was a guarantee that I would get in.
That's funny.
And I applied. I applied for several schools. I applied for Winona, got denied. Like, I got the fucking letter back over there. I was like, what the fuck? Like, I thought it was like a gimme, you know? Especially with like a 9. It was at 18 then ACT. I think that the first one I applied for. So I didn't take it again. I was going to, but I just reapplied and they let me in the second time. Like, same shit, same everything. There's like, fuck it. Like, I
he
feel
really
like
wants to come. I guess we'll take his money.
and I just appreciate those small schools, bro, because like you do it's so much different than any other experience you'll get in college to me at all. Like, I'm so thankful I didn't go to a big like university. I'm sure it was so fun, but
I am too.
My pockets are a little less hurting right now. And I had the same education, same experiences, honestly, and I could go up to the U and visit my friends any day. So those things were, you know, I'm thankful to be at Winona for, and just like, I think the circle, like you the people you're around is just so fun.
No, I agree completely.
Yeah. So what was your I gotta get this out of you. What was your favorite moment? It's probably such a hard answer, bro. I'm sorry, but I want to know what your favorite, or what was your favorite thing to do.
I mean, I loved the town of Winona. I would always bike around the lake.
Yeah.
Sugarloaf, like go up to the like that part of like the nature part. I love that. The friends were fun. Bars were a lot of fun.
Yep.
I was probably sneaking into Tav.
Yes.
That was probably the best.
Sneaking in. They let anybody underage in there.
Oh yeah.
It was crazy.
Allegedly.
I never went there underage. I had an ID that said I was 21.
They're not even
so.
in business, so they can't get in trouble, whatever.
Two brothers now.
Dude, honestly, this is gonna sound super corny and cheesy, but when you'd walk home from the bars at night, and it would be dark and it'd be snowing, and it was completely silent, and there was not a, do you know this? Like when it was, and there was not a car driving or anything, and you're hammered, and it's like, this is so cool.
Dude,
like,
you don't get that anywhere else, bro.
No.
That's what I'm saying.
And it would be, you'd go to this loud bar, and you'd like, busy there, you'd pregame and whatever, and then you'd walk home, and it would be dead silent. I don't know. I always thought that was pretty cool.
That's so true, though. That is a great, I love that you pointed that out versus like some other, it could have been anything else.
There's a lot of stories. There's fire
of course,
going on.
We don't need to clean out the laundry or anything. But dude, I love that though, because that's such a true thing that I'm just like, you're bringing back a little bit of memories, bro. That moment where you just kind of appreciate how the size of the town was. Like Minneapolis, you're worried about getting jumped when you go back to the bar or from the bar. Like you have to be with a group of people. You can't
you're
be
the
alone.
only one out there.
Winona, you can just be, dude. I used to walk around barefoot, like. Just walking around after the bar, just dirty.
Crazy.
I was dirty as fuck, dude. But what I'm saying is, it was just such a good. That is such a like moment. If you experience that moment, you know exactly what we're talking about.
You
walk out of this loud environment, also just quiet. Snow's
dead,
fluffy,
and it wouldn't even be like 2 a.m. It would be like 10 o'clock.
Yes,
and it'd be dead silent.
Yeah, and you're just walking back from the bars. Great feeling, dude. I love that you pointed that out versus anything else. Honestly, that's like. It's like a slept-on aspect of Winona.
I agree. Yeah,
it really is. I have a few more big questions I want to ask you. Back to the sneaker content.
Yep.
So, for me, when I worked at Foot Locker, like I said, and a lot of times there was retro releases, things like that, and there was a lot of big, people would line up out of the door to get these things. I remember the one specifically. I don't know anything, but I know it was a Jordan Retro 5 that released. I couldn't tell you anymore, honestly, because I don't want to sound like stupid at all.
There's a lot of colorways.
Right, exactly. So I couldn't tell. It was like a gray. Maybe you could find it. I don't know. It was something like that. Whatever. I don't really care about the colorway. It doesn't really matter. But it was like a gray and black type beat. But what I'm saying is I wanted to be, because the people I worked with were reselling these suckers because we get
backdoor them.
We could get 10% on these suckers, but we couldn't get the 50% that normally could. But we could get 10%, so you could just you just resell them. So we would always like have a size lined up for us when it would release them, just buy them. And I was trying to get on that wave. Oh, there it is. It's actually no, the one, whatever. It's the Foot Locker, the first image on that Foot Locker photo. That's it.
Burgundies.
I'm pretty sure that was it. No, it wasn't burgundy. It disappeared, of course. Anyway, but regardless, I wanted to resell
Probably
it. So my
metallics.
first experience reselling it, it was a metallics. It was like a metallic colorway.
The black metallics.
Yeah. So I was like, I want to get on this. My manager helped me, like, he told me what to do, and I did eBay, and I did it wrong.
Get whacked with fees, shipping.
No, I got scammed.
Oh.
Straight up.
Which now you can't anymore because
which is great. I know that's a thing now, which is awesome. But at the time, I sent the we did the negotiation. I'm like 15, 16, whatever. I'm just like having my mom help me do this, and I send him the shoe, and he's supposed to send me the money. The money never came in.
I've been there.
Yeah. So I want to get to that. That's what I want to get to a little bit before we wrap this up. Is I got scammed at I don't know how much it was. It was like
couple $100.
Yeah, it was like 200,
which is like the world when you're 15.
Yeah, dude, $200 is huge. I mean, still now, like, that hurts. Like, it's gonna hurt me a little bit, but I was like so depressed over that, dude. I got robbed, and I was like, this is not for me, man. I can't do it. So what's your biggest like story you have? Because I know you've had to get scammed before. You had to have, dude. You've been in the reselling business before. What's your story, the worst one you have of you getting scammed, robbed, losing money, something like that, where you're kind of down bad and you're like, fuck, man, is this really for me? Like, has that happened to you?
I mean, especially when I was reselling and stuff. Those fakes are always big too. I mean, there's a couple, like one of them was I bought a pair of turbo green Jordan 1s on eBay. Okay. During TikTok Jordan 1 turbo green era. Yeah. It was like a whole thing. And, they were going for $350. Okay. And this was before the eBay authentication program. Yeah, super cool pair.
Those are clean.
Got them in. They were fake. Didn't accept a return. Just got burned. $350.
That's tough,
so I still have them. They were Abby's size. They were her like bar shoes for a while. Actually.
Love it.
But that was one of them. And then the one that really pissed me off was I bought 3 pairs off Mercari. It was a Jordan 1 Fearless and then a couple other ones. Yeah. And I think it was like $500-$600. And the post office, who now I'm like good friends with them because I had a P.O. box there and I'd see them all the time. But it was sophomore year when I was living in the house, and shitty house. Like, it was just bad neighbors. Like, Winona, that's part of it. But
old Winona.
Yeah, and post office delivered it to the wrong house right down the road.
Great.
And said it was delivered. I was like, I never got it. I was sitting waiting for this package, and I think it was like $580 was this package. And I mean, it was a nightmare. So I went to the post office, like, we delivered it. Yep. And then looked at the confirmation. It was this other house. The picture was in front of this other house. And so filed a police report. The police went there. He says he never got it. Kind of like sketchy looking guy. Looked on Facebook for the next 3 months, see if he was selling them. Nothing. Like, never got him. I could never get a charge back through Mercari. Yeah, just was out. Yeah, $600. So that one pissed me off because I knew he had them, and I was like, I went to his house after the police went there, like, a couple days later, and I was like, I'll give you $100, like, if you give me these shoes back. Like, nothing. So
that's crazy.
That one pissed me off.
I wonder what he did with them, dude. That's probably a big day for that guy.
Yeah,
especially Winona. You never know if it's a townie, which it probably was.
A lot of drugs,
that guy's, dude, you're like, fuck yeah, that's meth for years, bro.
Yeah, it just showed up at his doorstep.
That's crazy, man. Yeah, I think that's the tough part, and that's probably another reason why you probably, moved. Other than it just being really hard to sustain, but the reselling business, you probably just didn't want to have to deal with, like, playing your cards once in a while. But
you learn how to not get scammed, and I mean, I've done deals for $5-10 grand that are like bundle deals that, like, you know how to navigate it once you're in it, and never send money before you get the product. Simple
Yep.
stuff that you got to learn the hard way usually. But I mean, I think everyone that's in the reselling game has stories like that.
Interesting. Last thing, wrap this up. So I know you mentioned earlier you're doing well on also Facebook. You post your video. Like, so when you post on Instagram, you just post on Facebook too. I assume like all of your short form videos go pretty much everywhere, right? Like TikTok, things like that. Do you do Snapchat?
No.
Really?
No.
That's why I want to bring it up.
So, I mean, I like to have balance. That's another thing.
Yep.
The 50, 100 snaps a day, I've never thought it would be good for me.
Yeah. That is what it is now. You have to do like 100 snaps a day.
Yeah. And so, funny enough, I don't know if you remember this, but like 3-4 years ago, Snapchat had a thing where if you posted videos and they went viral, you'd get paid for it. And I think we talked about this a long time ago, but I was like ripping other people's like viral videos and just like reposting them like everyone was doing. Like find them, like go to TikTok, find the most viral video ever, and then repost it. Made like $3,000 off of one of them. Yeah. And it was like, it's cool. Like, and then just never, I don't know. I'm like, I could post my stuff there. I could do daily stories. Like there's a lot I could post. I feel like it would wear me out and wipe me out.
Right.
A lot.
All I'm saying is like I think it's just an untouched space for you, but also they still do pay you out. Spotlight.
Do they?
They still pay you. Yeah, Spotlight. So not just the story, like that's public stories, whatever, where you have to post like 50 snaps.
That was early days. That was like right when Spotlight came
So they
out.
still do it. They take like the most viral videos of the day or the week, whatever. I don't remember what it is exactly, but if you get a million views on your snap, you're probably gonna get paid out $1,000. They just pay you $1,000 like randomly.
Solid.
So I'm just like, bro. So I think
have you guys been doing it at all?
Yeah. Well, so some of the viral videos we've done, like the posting the viral videos too.
You guys have the perfect content for it.
Yeah, but also like some of the videos that have hit are some of the DAC videos too that they'll pay like this year, January, we just got $3,000 like out of nowhere.
Really?
But also just out of nowhere, like bugged out. We don't really get much right now, but what I'm saying is that is another untouched space that I feel like you might as well just throw your shit on Spotlight. Not the public story. That's a
no. I might have to.
That's the one thing I think you touch on, because they still do pay out viral videos. And they pay. I don't know how they're making money off this shit. Well, to be honest with you,
that's part of it too. Is I'm like, I don't even use Snap. Like I Snapchat pictures of our dog to my wife,
right?
And like talk to you, like come in here, but like I don't use Snapchat. Like I don't have any streaks. I just don't use it anymore.
Yeah.
And so that's part of it. It's like I don't even like use the platform. So like,
yeah, I mean their stock is like tanking, and it's like really weird.
That's where I'm like, how like if I get into it and it's like it disappears, like I don't know. Maybe I'll try it out.
All I'm saying is just like it's definitely the last like short form content. Might as well just throw it out there.
I mean, mine as well. That's how Facebook's been.
And your content's so like captivating. It's like entertaining. It's for somebody that doesn't, like I said, I don't have a ton of interest in sneaker content, but when you
maybe I'll post them.
No, but when you make videos, it's just like I'm like intrigued. Like I want to watch it. Dude, you made a video of you like reviewing the stool you were sitting on or some shit. I think it was
the Viper chair.
Yeah, the Viper chair, and I was like, this is like I'm entertained. Like I don't know why. I love it, but the way you do it, it's good. And yeah, man, I appreciate you coming out here, hopping on our pod with us. You're our first official guest, and yeah, I think it's just interesting to see another perspective from a content creator and like a whole different community. Somebody that kills the game, consistent, knows what he's doing. So anybody listening right now, go check him out on social media for real. WinonaKicks. I think it's on everything, right? TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, all that. So go check him out. He's got some great content, especially if you fuck with sneakers, lifestyle content. You're going to like his stuff. So go check him out. And also check out your podcast too, WinonaKicks podcast. He also talks more about sneakers on there, and you know,
mainly sneakers,
and that's with another Seth, right? Yep. Cool. So yeah, go check him out, dude. Like for real, go check out his stuff. You'll probably like it because it's just cool to look at, man. And you like post the Instagram story. I'm like, damn, this looks cool. I don't know why. It just looks. It's just because you got nice camera lenses, bro. You always balling out on those. But Yeah, man. I hope to have you on again, and we can talk a little bit more about other parts. Yeah. But yeah, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
And everybody listening, thanks for listening. This is the 1030 Brekky podcast. I'm Seth.
I am Dak.
And this is Charlie, aka WinonaKicks. Tune in next week. We'll have some more good content. But go Timberwolves. And hopefully next time you listen, we're going to be further in the playoffs. So peace out, y'all. Thanks again for coming on, bro. For real.
Appreciate it.
Dak, good shit.
Yeah.
Love y'all.